Koalas are among Australia's most well-known and popular animals. Despite often being called koala bears, they're not bears, they're marsupials, meaning they have a pouch in which they raise their young. Today, somewhere between 398,000 and 569,000 koalas live in Queensland, New South Wales, and the Australian Capital Territory. That may sound like a lot, but it really isn't, and they've recently been listed as vulnerable, even endangered in some regions following the devastating 2019 and 2020 bushfires. Their name is thought to come from the Darug word gula, meaning no water, which makes sense because they get most of their moisture from their food, especially eucalyptus, which is possibly one of the worst dietary choices imaginable. Not only is it nutrient poor, but eucalyptus is toxic to most other animals, including humans. If eaten, it can cause vomiting, seizures, and even organ failure, and yet koalas eat up to 1 kilogram of the stuff every single day. Presently, koalas live along Australia's east coast and parts of South Australia. In Western Australia, they are regionally extinct. But it wasn't always that way. For decades, scientists have been trying to answer a key question. Were the koalas that once lived in Western Australia a distinct species from modern koalas? Most of what we know about Western Australian koalas come from fossils found in caves, including Mammoth Cave, Tight Entrance Cave, Devil's Lair, and others. Most of these fossils are jaw specimens, and complete skulls are extremely rare. But that doesn't mean they don't exist. Many years ago, avid caver Lindsay Hatcher found a remarkably complete skull with an associated jaw. And when researchers re-examined it along with another skull from a nearby cave, they noticed something strange. Unlike modern koalas, these skulls had a distinct groove in their upper jaw, just below the eye socket. Essentially, these koalas had dimples. To figure out what this groove was for, the team dissected a modern koala for comparison. They confirmed the deep groove was completely absent in living koalas. Its placement corresponded to the canus muscle, which controls the upper lip and nose. A deeper groove would have supported a much larger muscle, suggesting this fossil species had a greater mobility of the upper lip, possibly using it to grasp and select foods. The other possibility is that this feature enhanced nostril widening, which may have helped these koalas smell better, possibly to locate or identify other koalas of the same species. But the dimples weren't the only difference. These fossil koalas also had wider snouts, smaller earbulae, and much larger premolars and molars. When phylogenetic analysis was conducted, essentially reconstructing the evolutionary tree, the researchers' hypothesis was confirmed. This wasn't just an unusual individual. It was an entirely new species. They named it P. sulcomaxillarius, meaning grooved maxilla. So why don't we have dimpled koalas today? Well, based on the dates, the extinction is likely linked to the dramatic climate shift around 28,000 years ago. Before that time, Western Australia, where the koalas lived, was covered in forests. But a period of cooling and drying essentially wiped these forests out. When the forests disappeared, so did the koala's food source. New reforestation wouldn't occur until around 17,500 years ago, far too late for our dimpled friends. These findings don't just reshape what we know about koala history. They reveal that modern koalas are not the only species to have lived in Australia in relatively recent times, and it's a stark reminder of just how vulnerable these species are. Shrinking forests caused the extinction of these koalas tens of thousands of years ago, and similar deforestation, both human-caused and natural, is happening in Australia today. As Australia gets warmer and drier with each passing year, understanding how past climates transformed landscapes and caused extinctions may be the key to protecting the koalas that remain. This was Archaeology Tea House. If this video was your cup of tea, why not like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to never miss a video.